Right now, in the middle of November 2025, something massive is happening that most people haven't fully grasped yet. Vladimir Putin woke up this week to the worst news of his entire war. America just pulled the plug on Russia's money machine and handed Ukraine the keys to strike deep inside Russian territory without warning. We're not talking about small moves, we're talking about brand new US sanctions that directly target Russia's two biggest oil giants, the companies that pay for almost half of Putin's entire war budget, combined with Ukraine finally unleashing American ATACMS missiles straight into Russian soil. And the timing couldn't be worse for the Kremlin. Oil prices are soft, the ruble is sliding again, and Russian soldiers are running out of everything from drones to winter boots. If you've been wondering when this war would finally turn against Russia for real, this is the moment. Stay with me for the next 10 minutes, because I'm going to show you exactly how America just broke Putin's back, why Russia's economy is now on life support, and what this means for 2026. Let's start with the strike that made Moscow panic. Just yesterday, November 18, Ukraine's General Staff officially announced they used US-supplied ATACMS ballistic missiles to hit military targets deep inside Russia. Not in occupied Crimea, not near the border, actual Russian territory, hundreds of kilometers from the front line. Russian sources immediately claimed they shot some down over Voronezh region, but the photos of missile fragments all over the forest tell a different story. These ATACMS aren't toys. One single missile can carry a 500-pound warhead or a cluster payload that blankets an entire airfield or ammo depot in seconds. Ukraine has been begging to use them without restrictions for over a year, and now the green light is clearly on. Russian air defenses that used to feel safe 300 kilometers behind the lines suddenly look useless. Command posts, fuel depots, helicopter bases, nothing in Western Russia is safe anymore. Think about what this does to Russian logistics. They already lost most of their Black Sea fleet to Ukrainian drones and missiles. Now even rear area bases that store artillery shells and glide bombs are getting blown up. Russian generals are reportedly screaming at each other in emergency meetings because their entire invasion plan was built on the idea that certain places were untouchable. Not anymore. But missiles alone don't win wars, money does. And that's where the second hammer fell. Last month, the United States under President Trump slammed direct blocking sanctions on Rosneft and Lukoil, Russia's two largest oil companies that, together, pump almost half of the country's crude. These aren't the weak sanctions we saw earlier. These are full asset freezes in the US and a clear threat of secondary sanctions on any bank or company in the world that keeps doing big business with them. Within days, China's biggest refineries started canceling December cargoes. Indian refineries that used to buy millions of barrels suddenly went quiet. Tanker rates for Russian oil shot up because the shadow fleet is terrified of getting blacklisted. The discount on Russian Urals blew out to almost $20 a barrel, meaning Russia is basically giving its oil away just to find buyers. Result? Russia's oil and gas revenues, the oxygen for Putin's war machine, dropped 27% last month alone compared to last year. The budget is bleeding billions every week. The ruble keeps sliding, inflation is stuck above 8%, and the central bank can't cut interest rates because everything would explode. Walk into any Russian supermarket right now, and you'll see eggs and chicken costing double what they did last year. People in Moscow and St. Petersburg are lining up for basic groceries, while Putin spends trillions on missiles that get shot down before they reach Ukraine. Mothers of mobilized soldiers are posting desperate videos. My son has no winter uniform, no drones, nothing. Send whatever you can. That's not propaganda. Those videos are all over Russian social media. And it's only getting worse. The new sanctions give the US Treasury power to go after any foreign bank that processes payments for Rosneft and Lukoil. That means even friendly countries like Turkey and the UAE are starting to back away. Russia's foreign currency reserves that looked big a year ago are melting fast because they have to sell dollars just to pay pensions and salaries. Now, let's talk battlefield reality, because the numbers are brutal. Russia is still throwing bodies at places like Pokrovsk and Kurakovo, but at a terrifying cost, sometimes 1,500 casualties a day. They're using golf carts and Chinese desert buggies because anything bigger gets spotted and destroyed by drones. North Korean troops are arriving as cannon fodder, but they're dying even faster than Russians because they don't know the terrain and have zero air support. Meanwhile, Ukraine just got confirmation they can keep firing ATACMS whenever they want to. That changes the entire math of the war. Russian soldiers know it too. Surrenders are spiking. Videos show groups of 10, 20 men walking out with white flags because they're cold, hungry, and see no point anymore. One leaked audio from a Russian unit last week had a commander literally crying on the radio, "We have no ammunition, no rotation, nothing. We're just meat." Back home, the cracks are showing everywhere.
Young IT guys and engineers are leaving the country in waves because taxes are going up and real wages are falling. Factories can't find workers because everyone who can is either at the front or fled. Inflation on food is running 15 to 20% in many regions. Putin raised the income tax on high earners and jacked up VAT, but it's still not enough to plug the hole. The Kremlin's own budget forecasts for next year show defense spending staying sky high while everything else gets cut. That means no new roads, no hospital repairs, no pension increases, just endless war. And if oil stays weak or sanctions tighten even more, we're looking at a real economic crisis in 2026. Think Soviet-style shortages, but with modern internet exposing it all. Here's the part most people miss. Russia isn't just losing slowly anymore. They're being systematically dismantled from the inside and outside at the same time. Sanctions are choking the money, long-range strikes are breaking the logistics, and the Russian people are starting to feel real pain for the first time since 2022. Putin can scream about nuclear weapons all he wants, but the truth is, his conventional army is running out of steam and cash. Every week that passes without a ceasefire costs him more soldiers he can't replace and more money he doesn't have. So where does this end? Either Putin finally realizes he can't win and comes to the table, or Russia keeps bleeding until something inside the country breaks. History shows empires that overextend and bankrupt themselves don't usually end well. If this video opened your eyes to how fast the tide is turning, hit that like button right now. It helps more people see the truth. Drop a comment. Do you think Putin quits in 2026 or keeps sacrificing his country? And if you've got a friend who still thinks Russia is winning, send them this video today. We're living through the end game of this war. Stay informed, stay strong. Peace out.